Marge said I should get out of my comfort zone, so I tried this new game, and oh boy, am I in the zone!
So back in January, I made a video called Weird Ad Games, which basically dissected all of the many strange mobile games you can find just from the ads alone. So this video is pretty much a sequel to that, except now there's more. Even after how long ago that video was made, mobile ad games appear to have not changed one bit. In fact, it seems that they have gotten worse. Everyone knows about these ads, and it's rather obvious that pretty much everyone hates them. Nonetheless, they seem to still be riding the corpse of the App Store and squeeze as much money out of the game as they possibly can before the game dies. So today, I want to dive into more of these games and just see how bad they actually are. I will be analyzing these games one by one, and also seeing if the ads resemble the finished product at all. You don't have to see the first video I made in order to understand this one, but if you want to see it, there will be a link in the description. So with that out of the way, let's begin looking at more weird ad games. So for our first mobile ad game we'll be playing, let's take a look at Count Master's Crowd Runner 3D, a game that's premise is to grow an army of bleak stickmen to kill other bleak stickmen. With over 250,000 ratings, it's tagged as number 14 on the action category of the App Store, which is kind of shocking. So basically this game is like 90% of all modern mobile games on the App Store, as you start out as just a mere single person, but by going through these doors to either add or multiply your figure, you can now grow your army to the extreme and survive several obstacles. The main obstacle you'll be seeing is a red army that stands in the way of your progress. If you have a number of soldiers lower than the red army, even if it's by one, then you'll lose. There's also a few other obstacles across the level that also try to kill out your army. There's obstacles like saw blades and spinning saw blades. Occasionally there are ramps for your group to jump over, but that's about it. If your army does eventually survive the level, then one of two things will happen. You will either climb up a huge ladder of blocks to see how far you get with your army, or you'll have to end up fighting a huge boss stickman that also tries to kill your army. Before the fight starts, you have a chance to increase your army by a considerable amount, with the best increase being the skinniest one. Though despite that, I ended up managing to click the rarest option anyway, because the arrow is actually not that fast. Once you kill the king, you can take over the castle. Speaking of the castle, by the way, there's also a second game mode you can play alongside going through the levels, Build Mode, which basically puts you on an island where you build your civilization of bleak stickmen. Yay! Once you build your castle, you can battle more red army figures, except now you can choose how you multiply your army. I suppose having two game modes makes the game a little bit more unique, but regardless of that, this game is extremely boring. Like most of the modern mobile games on the App Store, all you do is just run in a straight line in this weird dream world, dodging obstacles and going up weird stairs, and that's it. In the menu, you can also find things like skins, microtransactions, and even having the ability to change the color of your figure. You can also turn off ads, but it requires $3 out of you. Not only are there a lot of video ads that like to pop out of nowhere, but there's also a lot of ads at the bottom of your screen, advertising games like Twerk Race 3D. I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting to see how big your army can get as it slowly dies out throughout the level, but yeah, there's nothing really much else to talk about in this game other than the fact that funny bland figures fight other funny bland figures. Wow, you can tell I enjoy this game a lot. Looking at the App Store, it actually seems that other people unironically enjoy this game. This game is really fun, and I like that you can get coins to add more guys to the start of your run and add to your coin level. Like, bro, what? What other games do you like? Twerk Race 3D? So yeah, there's nothing much else to talk about in this game. It's boring, it's generic, and it's all around not very good. Actually, hang on, you know what? Go back to the ad at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, that one. Fine, Tap to Pay LLC. Just this once I'll play by your rules, and actually install and play your other crappy games. So without further ado, let's click Twerk Race 3D and see where it leads us. So now that I clicked the ad, it's time to play the sacred title, Twerk Race 3D. According to the description, the game states that twerking is a lot of fun, and a running game with twerking is even more fun. Meet Twerk Race 3D, an exciting runner featuring a fun race where your goal is to build your muscles to become a twerking legend. Wow. Basically, as you might have guessed by now, in this game you race while twerking in 3D. Now, making a downright degenerate game for all the little kiddies to enjoy is one thing, but on the other hand, the reviews of this game is just on a whole other level of weirdness. Let's take a look at this review written by 2. Oh, where to begin? This is the greatest, I mean the greatest game I've ever played and laid eyes upon. You see, to add some context, my wife left me, took my kids, and pretty much everything left to my name. so being depressed, I have been on the lookout for something to soften my sorrow. Then came along Twerk Race 3D. What? Okay, so in order to literally not get killed by YouTube, I kind of have to show you just a narrow slice of what this game is. But don't worry, you're not missing out on anything because it's the exact same game as Count Masters. You spawn in all week or whatever at the start of a straight line. You then proceed to run in a straight line, going through doors that either decrease or increase your stats. You have to constantly dodge obstacles, with the main obstacle being the coronavirus. You see how far the stats go at the end of the level by murdering a random civilian. And then you go into a dance club to kill the final boss by twerking. That's it. This actually might very well be the worst game I've ever played ever. Like, I just don't get it. Why did real human beings make this? Why is it the exact same game as Count Masters? Why does it have 23,000 reviews? And why advertise it like a kid's game? There's nothing good about my man Twerk Race 3D. It's soulless, it's sketchy, and it's just a downright awful video game. I'm at a loss for words. There is nothing more to be said. Screw this game. Get out of my home screen and never come back. So the next game we'll be playing is Evony, which is arguably, by far, the most advertised mobile game probably in history. It doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or literally any mobile game that has ads. If it has ads, then there will be a pretty good chance that it'll talk about Evony. But despite being so publicly exposed, I doubt you have ever played it. Which, good by the way, you've done well. Looking at the App Store, it appears that this game, despite being shown to millions, only ever has 43,000 ratings, with the game being tagged as number 5 on the strategy section of the App Store. The reviews of this game also seem to be really negative, despite the game being a 4.1. But what is this game actually like? Well, looking at the ads, it seems that the game is just getting a random nerd to escape this cave thingy, while also getting a lot of gold in the process. The way ads like Evony get you to play their game is by purposely failing over and over again to make viewers say, "You are so bad at playing this game, you know what? Let me actually play this to show myself how great I am at this video game." So let's get into this game, shall we? In the description of Evony, the game says build your cities, train your troops, solve puzzles, expand your empire. Wow, how interesting. And now I'm in the game. Oh, hey, George. So when I started out, it showed me which country I could start in. I decided to choose America because, I don't know, why not? So one thing I really need to get out of the way in Evony is that this game really loves baby feeding you all the things you need to know in this game. For the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game, it was just listening to virtual figures go on about literally nothing, where I would then have to spend my time just clicking on whatever the shiny arrow clicked on. Once I got out of the practice mode, I was now properly ready to play this game. So the main gameplay of Evony is like the ad showed, just some crappy puzzle thing where rocks, monsters, and a royal guard is trapped in some weird cave thingy, and you have to let him out by getting him the treasure. Like, he doesn't even get out of the cave. He just likes it now that he can starve rich, I guess. There are multiple different levels to this, with the starter level taking place in Egypt. Oh, and there's also other countries too, like ancient Greece and Viking. In the puzzle games, your character is extremely stupid. Once you let him out of the cage, he will just continue to walk until he either gets the treasure, climbs through some ropes, or dies. And yes, he will fall off a lot of the times if you let him. In the puzzles, there's also mechanics like combining water and lava to make obsidian, wooden boxes to block spikes, and moving platforms. So, despite this game on the outside looking like a fairly polished game, the actual gameplay cannot have been any more lazy or sloppy, with the animations running at like 5 FPS, and the monsters, well, just completely disappearing when they die. And when your character dies, he will just play the same animation over and over again. How wonderful. And Evony being a mobile game, it has the usual elements too, like daily rewards, buying useless crap, strange characters, and smooth animations that just look uncanny. If you're not spending your time doing random puzzles inside a cave, then you can also do things like build farms and upgrade castles or whatever in your kingdom. You can also raid other people, which is like, cool I guess. Looking at the bottom of the screen, it looks like this game actually might be multiplayer, but most likely not, as it could just be fake bots pretending to be real humans. Games like Goat Simulator also have these systems of fake multiplayer chat, and I couldn't even text until I was a level 6 or whatever, so that was neat. There's also things in this game like joining alliances, customizing your character, etc. Welp, that was a crappy game. I don't really have much else to say in this game, other than the fact that, well, it's bad. So let's just move on. So the last game we'll be playing is Gun Masters 3D, Save the Innocent Civilians. Basically, the main premise of this game is that there are scary gangsters, and you, being a gunmaster, have to shoot all of them to save the hostages. The reviews of this game are pretty much all 1-star reviews, with some of them saying things like, game is crap, not the best, game doesn't work. Oh dear. So first things first, the gameplay in this is, what a surprise, really bad. Basically, in each level, you are put into a random warehouse with multiple 10-foot tall Vikings, and you have to kill them in order to win. Also in each level is a hostage which you have to save. But, like, you don't really have to save them. Once the gangsters are killed, the citizens proceed to do the chicken dance in excitement, and you just walk away from them.
Let me kill this guy. Why is he doing the chicken dance? Oh, and he disappeared. Wow, what is that?
The only way to lose in this game is if you either wait for the bad guys to kill you, and I mean wait, because for some reason they run at you at the pace of a snail, so letting them kill you is practically a chore to do. You will also lose the game if you shoot the hostage. The gangsters in this game consist of either shirtless knights with shields, Giga Chads, or randomly huge Vikings scattered all over the map. Like, why? What do you think the civilians are experiencing right now? They get kidnapped by a bunch of shirtless Giga Chads, with one of them being over 50 foot tall. That must be terrifying. At the end of each level, you are shown how close you are to getting a new gun. You start out with just a pistol, but as the levels go by, you'll get guns like shotguns and AKs. The best weapon in this game, from the looks of it, is a minigun that you can get once you beat level 34. The characters' ragdolls are extremely weird when you shoot them. Upon killing them, their bodies will occasionally just fly at Mach 5 in a random direction, which is kind of the only pro in this game, since looking at funny ragdolls are always nice to look at. There's also explosive barrels in this game, which can be used to kill a number of enemies. However, by the time you get an AK, the game gets really boring now, as the AK, for whatever reason, has auto assist. You can get other weapons in this game, like a sniper rifle or crossbow, but honestly, I'd rather not waste an hour of my life playing Gunmaster 3D. Interestingly enough, however, it seems that the people that made this game are the same people behind Find the Aliens, which is a game I talked about in the original video. But yeah, I don't have much else to say in this. Don't play this game. It's not very good. Well, that's all the ad games I'll be looking at today. From the looks of these ads, it seems as if they're really purposely awful as a method to get people playing them. I've been running around aimlessly trying to figure out why these ads exist, and why they're just so goddamn annoying. But really, it's rather obvious. It's just for a quick buck. The unfortunate truth for the mobile gaming market is that what was once a place for classic, enjoyable gems is now just a factory to pump out as many soulless games as they possibly can, and it's likely to remain this way for another good chunk of time. So for the meantime, all you can really do to prevent this is just not playing these games at all. They're not fun, they have too many ads, and they're all around really forgettable and annoying. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you sometime in the distant future. Goodbye.